What's up guys, Darkdally here, playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and today I want to start a very special series. I'm going to run this series throughout the month, and what we're doing here is, well, we're doing a fundraiser thing, and I'll talk about that later. For now, let's talk about what we're doing in this video. I finally want to really, I know I have tested the Mark 17 here, which I'm holding. I have tested it, but I don't think I've tested it enough. This is, like, I gotta say, at the time I've played this game, since its release, the number one rifle I've heard the most about has been the Mark 17. Now, nowadays, more and more people are talking about, like, the LVOA-C, or really, I think the 416 has kind of become the favorite. Also, you know, other weapons, people have always favored the ACR. There's a lot of weapons people talk about. But this is one people have talked a lot about. And it may be because of its stats. It has very high stats. A lot of people are disappointed because they think it should outperform its, category. It's categorized with assault rifles, but obviously the weapon this is should outperform many of them in many things. Anyway, so that's why, guys, we're doing a whole series testing the Mark 17. Now, today we're going to start off by comparing it, and I will be going back to this quite a bit. We're going to be comparing it to a P416 for a few reasons. A, the P416 is a nice basic AR-15 platform, and B, it is in stark contrast to the Mark 17 when you look at the stats. Look at the stats of the P416. Notice I have it highlighted, and you can see the red. You can see it does, according to the stats, about a third of the damage. Look at the penetration. I mean, it has less accuracy, almost half the, a little over half the range, etc. I have them right now comparably equipped. I have them equipped with a certain set of parts, and I have them equipped for, with these parts for a certain reason, and we'll get to that. Like I said, we're doing a special event this month, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. For right now, here's what we're doing. Let's start off, because we got all month. We got a whole series of tests to do in the Mark 17. Let's get down to this right now. This should be a really accurate rifle. I should have just stayed here. Let's have a look at it right here. We have an ACOG scope. We have a standard barrel. I'm actually running a shift short angle grip, and the reason is not because that's not what I would choose to use for this rifle in the game. I would choose a vertical grip. The reason we're using that is because that's what I would put on one of these in real life, is probably a shift short angled grip. And we're running just a compensator V2. So we're running a fairly medium loadout on this weapon here. It's not set to shoot super accurate, super far. It's not set for super close engagement with a folded buttstock. It's kind of medium with medium parts. All right, guys, so let's start this off. Let's start off with some range testing. We know I was doing a bullet drop test at 250 meters. Now, I have done bullet drop tests on the Mark 17 and the P416. Let's do it back to back. Like I said, we're doing a special series this month. Again, we'll elaborate on that here in a minute. Let's go ahead. Let's just see, because I actually don't know. I do not know. I don't have my chart in front of me where I marked all of their bullet drop. I actually don't know how these two are going to perform against one another. Let's go ahead and equip the P416 in my other hand. This way we can just swap really quickly and fire. They have the same parts: standard barrel, ACOG scope, shift short, no rail attachment. Again, if I had one in real life, this is exactly how I would run it. Maybe different optics, but these optics are going to be what we need for shooting long range here. All right, so we got them set up comparably. The stats are, yeah, in stark contrast to one another. Let's see what we get here. Let's stop talking and let's start shooting. Well, let's start with the Mark 17. Let's put her on single shot, and let's take aim at our target, 250 meters. All right, let's pull up the drone and let's see where we hit. So this is the kind of accuracy we're going to get out of, this Mark 17 with this setup at 250 meters. We're dropping right there to the very bottom of the third brick up from the bottom on this wall. You can see that. All right. Let's grab the P416. Let's see. The Mark 17 has way higher stats, range, accuracy, you name it. Let's see how the P416 does. All right, there we go. We're zoned in right at the same spot. And it looks like it hit higher. Let's find out here. 250 meters is a pretty decent, range for an assault rifle. That's why I picked that range. Yeah, the P416 hit an entire brick higher, even though it has less accuracy, less range. Okay, so we're starting off by the first thing we need to do is throw all of Ubisoft's stats out the window. We've already seen it multiple times throughout multiple videos. Their stats don't mean anything. All right, so the P416 is more accurate over range. Now, a lot of times when I do these tests, I equip these rifles for the maximum. Like I would have a long barrel and a rangefinder on this one and the other one. But then I got a lot of people commenting saying, well, they should have comparable parts. So this time we're doing it comparable parts only. With comparable parts, we can see the P416 shoots more accurate over range. And that really tells us all we need to know, because no matter how many parts I put on these, so long as they have the same parts, it's always going to be like that. All right, so we know that much. Okay, next, let's, you know what, guys? Let's have a look at recoil. Again, just with the parts we have. These are not the ideal parts for bullet drop or accuracy. These are not the ideal parts for recoil, but they have the same parts, and that's what's important. Throughout the series, I will also be comparing the SCAR 17 against other rifles, but today we're doing the P416. I'll take your guys' requests, and we'll swap to other ones. Okay, so before we do the recoil, so let's talk about this fundraiser thing here for just a moment here, because that's what this is. And here's what we're doing. We're running it all month. And as you may have noticed, this series of videos testing the SCAR 17 have no ads. They're not monetized, and so I'm not making a dime off of these videos. Instead, here's what let's do. Instead of me slamming you with ads and making a tiny percentage off the man, let's do this. Use this PayPal link on the screen, also linked in the description below, and you can donate money directly to the channel. But why, Darkdally? What are we raising funds for? Okay, you guys will see, and trust me, it's epic. It's like over-the-top epic. It's like Hollywood epic. Okay, it'll be a whole new experience for the channel, and trust me, you can believe that. Okay, so here's the thing. If everyone watching this just clicked that link and contributed $1, this fundraiser would be over tomorrow. But since there's these pesky 30-cent charges on PayPal transactions, PayPal would eat up a lot of that, so we'll work with that, you know. So our goal here is only about $4 grand. So I know we can get this together if we all pitch in. And trust me, even on top of that, I'm going to have to throw another grand or so myself. So I ain't getting off easy either. We got some money to raise, but $4 grand ain't that bad. So here's what we're going to do. Everyone who contributes to the fund for the channel gets their name permanently on the Darkdally YouTube channel art. Yes, permanently. And it'll be cool. The person who posts the largest contribution will receive a very, very special gift at the end of all of this, trust me. I'm sorry I can't reveal more, but believe me when I say that, guys, we will pull this off and it'll be epic. Just hit that link in the description, give what you can for the channel, and let's get this done. Okay, let's get back to testing the SCAR 17. Let's go to the usual place I always do for recoil. So we've already seen that the P416 is more accurate over range. Now what I really want to see, and this is what everyone wants to see, is damage. The Mark 17 in this game has such high damage rating in the stats and such high penetration. What happens when we pair it at short and long ranges versus rifles that have a fraction of its stats? We'll find that out probably in the next video. For now, let's go hit recoil. So you guys may recognize this wall. This is where I always test recoil. Now, again, I don't have either of these weapons set up for, maximum, like recoil reduction, but that's not the point. The point is they're both set up exactly the same. So it doesn't matter if they're maximized, to reduce recoil. They're both set up with the identical same parts. All right, so let's get to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire a recoil pattern at this wall. A lot of people suggest I do it other ways. On one video, someone suggested I do it in single shot and just hit the trigger really fast. That holding down on full auto doesn't do it properly. But the problem is, at least on PlayStation, I will tell you from lots of experience, if you just slam the trigger, you'll get lots of hiccups and misfires in the firing pattern, and you can't hold a steady rate of fire. Maybe it's different on PC, but you can't do that on PlayStation. The only consistent way to do this is to hold the trigger and do like I normally do, which most people really don't ever complain about. I think this is the most reliable way to test recoil. That right there, that's one thing about the Mark 17. It has the slowest reload, and I have tested reload speeds. It has the slowest reload of any assault rifle. Let's go ahead and fire a shot from each of these rifles, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Okay, so we're going to reload the P416. Now we're going to reload the Mark 17. Yeah, even both with 30-round mags, they have the same size magazine, they have all the same parts. You can see visibly, and I tested it in my reload thing. Yeah, for some reason, the Mark 17 has like, it's like a quarter of a second or so. Maybe it's only a tenth of a second, but it's noticeably longer than any other weapon in the game, any other assault rifle anyway. Okay, so let's get on to recoil. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to fire one magazine with each. Let's see which has the better recoil at this distance on this wall. Notice how accurate the Mark 17 is. That's one thing this rifle has in spades. See that perfect vertical pattern? That is accuracy. Now, of course, that shift short angled grip is helping that. Let's go ahead and let's get the P416. Let's see how it adds up. Again, in future videos in this series, as we do this fundraiser throughout the month, we'll be trying different rifles, whatever you guys suggest. This is a fundraiser, so it's up to you guys. Let's go ahead and, that's my bad. Okay, so we can see on a full held burst, the P416 has only like 2/3 of the recoil. Now, generally when you're shooting, you're not holding down the trigger through a whole magazine. This is just to illustrate. They're both dead accurate rifles. We have great patterns of both, but the P416 has far less recoil. So far, this is not looking good for the Mark 17. But guys, we have a lot more to test this month. We have a lot more to test. So far, the P416 is actually more accurate over range and has better recoil control. That's just not holding onto the stick. That's just letting it fire. And yet so much lower stats. So where is the Mark 17 going to shine? Guys, I can promise you it is going to shine. We just got to find out where. All right, thank you so much for watching this first episode of our Mark 17 series. I want to test this rifle seriously. I want to put some serious time into it and really test this. We're going to be taking our time on this. We're going to be getting down to the nitty gritty. I'll be taking all your guys' suggestions because this month is all about you. All of us working together to help this channel. Trust me, when you see what the source, what the product of this fundraiser is that we're running, trust me, you'll be like, holy crap. So this is all of us working together. Tell me what rifle to test against it next. Tell me what test you want to see. We'll be back in a couple days with another installment in this series. And don't forget the link to that PayPal link that's down in the description below. Give what you can. It's for the channel. It's for all of us. And trust me, it's like, it'll blow you away. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next Mark 17 testing video. I am Darkdally, guys. It's been a real pleasure. I'll catch you guys next time.